All right, here we go. All right, so welcome to lunchtime, noon at least in our time zone, happy hour. Thanks for showing up here. Thanks for being here. So, all right, we're gonna get started on our mats. And I don't know about you guys, but this whole like being at home thing means that there might be all of a sudden the sound of lawnmowers. There might be the sound of hammering because they're doing construction next door. Maybe dogs barking because somebody has the audacity to be within eyesight of my dogs. But this is always the case whenever I teach here, and I trust that you guys have the same situation. And I see it as a really great way to practice being used to chaos on the outside, and it doesn't have to impact, it doesn't have to disturb the peace within, right? So, all right. I am seeing some feedback from you guys. Can you see me now? Marnie, give me a heads up, a thumbs up if you can see me.
Yes, sorry. Yes.
Can you see me? All right, cool.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. See, Marnie, you always have to keep talking, don't you? Even on Zoom. All right, let's get back. So that's what we're going to think about today, is how no matter what's going on around us, we can always come back into our own version of Zen, our own peace. It's always available to us. And so one really profound and simple way to do that is through our breaths. So if we're sitting in our easy pose, easy shape with our legs crossed, otherwise extend your legs out, do whatever you need to do to be comfortable. We're gonna sit up nice and tall. Relax our shoulders. And just bring your awareness to your sit bones that are basically grounding. Feel the connection with the surface of the ground. And then just feel that lengthening through your spine. And it doesn't mean you're sitting up really rigid and straight, right? We don't want to straighten our spine because it's naturally curved. But just sitting tall and relaxed. And then if you'd like, you can close your eyes. Otherwise, just look down at the mat or the floor in front of you. So slight tilt to your chin toward your chest, very slight, just bringing that lengthening into your neck, your full spine. And taking a moment to sort of walk your awareness or focus onto your mat and into your body. So you're aware of any perhaps tension or restlessness, fatigue, as well as healing that has taken place or good health. You know, if you were like, wow, I just remembered when I sat here last week, all I could think about was how stressed out I was because I had so much tension in my neck, and I don't feel that right now. You know, things like that. Bring your awareness to it. And then bring your awareness into your breath. We're breathing in and out through our nose. And now let's take a deep breath in and exhale with a sigh. Let's do that again. Deep breath in. It's Friday, whatever that means in this crazy time. Then do that one more time. Inhale. Okay, if you want to, you can open your eyes. We're gently going to shake our head. Yes. Yes. I am here. I made it. Okay, and then gently shake our head no. No, I won't let any outside chaos perturb me. Okay, let's hold it still here. Now we'll do our shoulder circles, or loosening up our shoulders, up the back. Notice how this feels. Okay, opposite direction. And hold it still. Okay, so we're going to come into our door opening in the spine. So let's take a deep breath, reach your arms up towards the sky, and then lean over to your right as you exhale. Inhale up, and exhale to the left. Inhale up, twist to the right. Inhale up, twist left. Inhale up. Exhale your arms behind you, clasp your hands and gently pull them up towards the sky, hinging forward from your hips if you like. And come back up, inhale your arms up. And then exhale, clasping your hands together and pressing your palms forward. You can round out your back, see how that feels. And come back up. We're going to take our right foot and place it by our left knee and extend our left leg out. Okay, so while we're doing this, we're sitting nice and tall. So one leg is extended out, the other one is folded in. Again, sitting tall. Just take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, do a slight twist over to the right. You can bring your left elbow by your right knee if you want, and just pause here. Take a couple breaths and notice how this feels, not only in your back and spine, but also how does it feel to breathe in a twist? Okay, let's bring it back to the front and now switch legs. So your left leg is bent, sitting up nice and tall. And then inhale and twist to the left, bringing your right arm by your left knee. A few breaths here again, noticing how it feels. Okay, let's come back to the front now. Bring the soles of your feet together into butterfly. And while we're here in butterfly, bring your thumbs over to the arches of your feet. And we're going to give ourselves a little pedicure. Okay, so just massaging your feet. Notice how that feels. I know, this is our version of a pedicure in this day and age where this is all we can do. But seriously, even when it's not pandemic times, we don't really think to do this sort of self-massage, and it can be really soothing, especially on our feet. Let's do that a little bit. You might be noticing a little opening in your hips. And then if you want to, pause the massage and bring your chest toward your feet for a moment. So you're bending from your hips. Try not to round out your back. And come back up. All right, we're gonna come onto all fours, tabletop. So our wrists are under our shoulders, our knees are under our hips. So let's inhale, look up, pull your tailbone up into cow pose. And then exhale into cat, drawing your chin into your chest. Inhale up. Exhale down. So continue this, following your own rhythm. Follow your own breath. Notice how this feels all along your spine. Maybe notice the rhythm of your breath. Do you feel like you spend more time inhaling, more time exhaling? Just pay attention. We'll do 2 more breath cycles here. And now let's hold it here on all fours. So from here, we're going to come into our spinal balance. Right arm comes up parallel with the mat, left leg comes up. Opposite arm to leg. Looking down at the mat, keeping your neck neutral. And then let's switch sides. Left arm, right leg. Bring it down. Now let's inhale up, exhale down. So follow your own breath, just like we did with the cat-cows. Still, if you can, breathing in and out through your nose. What I mean by if you can, sometimes we're congested, especially allergy season. Just do your best. Notice how this feels all along your core, which is basically everything between your knees and your shoulders. We're going to do 1 more on each side. And then when you're ready, meet me in tabletop. Okay, let's take our right leg up for the hydrant. So the knees bent. And then I'm doing circles here as wide as you want. Loosening up our hips. Notice how it feels in your back too, in your lower back. The opposite direction. And if at any point you're like, wow, I don't really like this on my wrists anymore, you can always take it down onto your forearms. Okay, let's bring that leg down. We're going to take our left leg up now. Knee bent, circles. And opposite direction. And bring it down. Let's take our hips over to the right. Look over your left arm. Feel that lengthening going on in your lower back, glutes. And now let's take it the other way. And back into tabletop. All right, let's walk our hands forward. You guys feel like a workout today? I think you do. Yep, I can see it. All right, I'll give you a workout. So we're in high plank. All right, so don't you dare leave the class. So our wrists are under our shoulders here. Our knees are behind our hips, right? It's high plank on our knees. We can always come to this at any point during plank and drop your knees. Just really listen to your body, do what it needs. Low plank is we're bending our elbows, bringing them in line with our ribs. This is low plank, no lower than that. Let's take it all the way to the mat. We're gonna press the tops of our feet into the mat, rotate our quads outward, lengthen through the spine, bring the crown of our head up, which brings our chest off the mat, cobra. And then push up and sit back in your heels, extending your arms forward, child's pose. Okay, so we're gonna do this 2 more times, half flow, mini flow. So we're gonna do this as we breathe. We're once again being led by our breath. So we'll inhale up and forward into high plank. Exhale, bend your elbows to the floor. Inhale, chest up. And exhale, up and back into child's pose. One more time. Inhale, up and forward. Exhale, bend your arms to the mat. Inhale your chest up. And then exhale up and back into child's pose. Let's pause here for a few breaths. And now let's come back up onto all fours. And we're gonna come into modified side plank. So I'll start off on the right with you guys. So extend your right leg out, right arm up. And if this doesn't feel good on your supporting knee, then you can go in the bathroom, grab a towel, place that under, or get a pillow. You know, raise our leg and just pause here and breathe. Notice the power in your hip flexors, glutes, abs, shoulders. And as always, if this doesn't feel good on your wrist or shoulder, you can always come down onto your forearm, right? Self-care, do what you need to do. 2 more breaths. And bring it down. And now let's take it to the other side. Extend your left leg, left arm out. Raise the leg. Breathe. And bring it down onto all fours. Awesome job. Let's come onto our forearms. You're like, really already? Yep. Let's take our feet out. So we're in forearm plank. Okay, so, but just for a moment. I know you want to stay here longer. We'll come back to it. For now, we're going to walk our feet forward. Okay, so we're coming into dolphin, which is like downward dog or inverted V, but on our forearms. And let's push our heels outward so our feet are basically pigeon-toed. Notice how this feels in your IT bend, the outside of your thighs. Breathe. It's a really nice way to strengthen our shoulders too. And come down onto your knees and sit back on your heels, and this time bring your arms alongside your body in rock or turtle pose. And take a few breaths here. And then let's come back up into tabletop. We're going to curl our toes under. Pause here. Feel the sensation in your toes and the arches of your feet as you lengthen them, open them up. And now let's raise our knees off the mat, a couple inches. Shins are parallel with the mat, and feel how you now have all this power going into your quads, your shoulders, and you're lengthening down in your Achilles. Breathe. And now let's carry it all the way up into our inverted V or downward dog. And we'll walk our dog because it is a beautiful day. So let's take our dog for a walk, bending one knee at a time. Still noticing how this feels in your feet, your toes, the arches of your feet, Achilles, calves. So let's hold our dog still and then bend both knees. And now walk your feet forward into forward fold. Let's pause here for a moment. Nice soft knees or bent. Take a moment to check in with your back. The point is not to touch our toes, have really straight legs while we're doing it. The point is to connect with our bodies. We spend so much of our life disconnected from our body. Let's come home to it. Couple breaths here. And then noticing the 4 points of each foot, big toe mound, baby toe mound, each point, each side of the heel. Feeling the grounding, feeling the connection with the ground, the earth. And then without moving your feet, push your heels away from each other. Feel that power through your legs. And as you do so, bring your hands to your shins into half lift. Pause here. Your spine is nice and long. Your legs are powerful. You're breathing. Come back down into forward fold. Still holding that engagement in your legs, pressing the heels away from each other. Slowly come all the way up, a nice and long spine. The crown of your head reaches forward, your arms are out and up. And now let's inhale and come back. Slight back bend. And come back up. Palms together through heart center, down into forward fold. Still the nice long spine as you come down. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, that reverse swan dive move. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step one foot back, then the other. High plank. Remember, you can always drop your knees if you want. Shift forward a little bit, and then bend your elbows, low plank, all the way to the mat. Inhale your chest up. And exhale through tabletop and into downward dog. Let's bend our knees. Walk your feet forward into forward fold. So now we'll do that with more fluidity, more of a flow. So let's inhale to our half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back into high plank. Shift forward, exhale, low plank, all the way to the floor. Inhale your chest up. And exhale through tabletop and into downward dog. Pause here and breathe. Press your sit bones up to the sky. Feel how that lengthens your spine. Let's take our right leg up to the sky. Feel that power in your back, your glutes, quads, hamstrings, shoulders. Breathe. And then bend your right leg, bringing the foot over to the left, crossing the midplane, and look under your right arm. Opening up your hip there. Breathe.
Grace or Kara? You need something?
Extend your right leg up.
What do you need?
And bring it forward, placing your right foot between your hands in a lunge. Remember, with our lunge, we always have our knee tracking over our ankle or heel. Okay, so our back foot, replace the pad of the foot with your heel.
Middle
And
drawer.
bring your torso up, arms up. Our winner pose with our arms, we're crossing that finish line. Your hips are facing toward the short end of your mat. And then inhale your arms up, lengthen your spine, and reach back a little. Come back up. Okay, so we're going to come into a little bit of a balance. So we're focusing on those 4 points of our right foot, because that's what we're rooting into the ground. And then we're going to reach forward and raise our back leg. So if you want to, you can grab a block, or I know Anne has a bag of flour or cornmeal or something that she's been hoarding. I'm just kidding, Anne. Whatever you need to do for support. Your back leg is parallel-ish with the floor. You're breathing. Your fingertips can graze the mat or just hover here. And now reach down and step back into high plank. So if you want to, you can drop your knees. We're going to shift forward, low plank, and back up, and into downward dog. Let's take our left leg up now. Reaching through, feeling that power. And then let's bend our left knee and look under our left arm. So bring the left foot over to the right side of the plane. Breathe. Let's take our left leg up and bring it forward, placing our foot between our hands. So we're in a lunge. Now we'll replace the pad of the right foot with the heel. And then bring our body up, warrior one. Arms up, or we can always place our hands at our hips if that's working better for us today with our shoulders. Okay, let's inhale up, slight back bend. And back up. Okay, rooting again the left foot. And then once we got our roots there, we can balance by reaching over our left leg. Right leg comes up. Fingertips can graze the mat or hover over it. Using whatever we need to feel supported here. Bring the ground up to our body with blocks, paper towel rolls, sleeping dogs, whatever you got there. And now let's reach down, step back into high plank. Again, you can drop your knees if you want. Shift forward, down, up, and downward dog. Let's inhale our right leg up. And bring it forward, placing your right foot between your hands into a lunge. Okay, so from here, a little bit more balancing as we come up into high lunge or crescent warrior. You can always drop your back knee on the mat if that feels better for you today. And place your hands on your hips if you prefer. Feeling that lengthening all along the left side of your thigh, your hip. Breathe, press your right foot, your front foot into the mat. And now we're going to press through the front leg, come up, and back down. So 4 more of these. we're gonna come back down and swing our front leg back and through into downward dog split. Okay, let's bring our body forward like it's in high plank, but our right knee is coming to our right elbow. Press it back. You can always drop your left knee here if you want. Bring the knee between the hands. Back and up. And now bring your right knee to your left elbow. Back and up. Through the hands. Back and up. And into downward dog. Pause. Breathe. Let's take our left leg up. And now bring it forward, placing your left foot between your hands, back in a lunge. And again, you can always drop your right knee if you'd prefer. And come up into high lunge, crescent warrior. Feel your balance there. Through your left foot, relaxed shoulders. And then let's press up and down. Keep going. 5 of these total, so 3 more if you're following my pace. And at the bottom here, we're going to reach down and swing our left foot back and through, or through and back, whatever. And now let's bring our left elbow to our left knee to left elbow. Push it back up between our hands. Back, right elbow, back, between your hands, back, and into downward dog. Okay, let's come forward. High plank. You can drop your knees if you want to. We're about to come into the nap pose for a little bit, so bear with me. We're going to come first onto our forearms. Forearm plank. Breathe. Marnie, I know you're probably chattering away to your dog right now because we're plank. All right, so let's breathe here 2 more times, 2 more breaths. And then if you want to, you can drop your knees or you can come all the way down. Otherwise, right hand, then left, coming up into high plank. Back down onto your forearms. Left hand, then right. Shift forward, low plank, and all the way down. Oh my gosh, doesn't this feel good? Feel your heart rate. Okay, let's reach back now and bring both heels into our sit bones. And just pause here. Feel that lengthening in your quads. Okay, so if you want to, you can kick your feet out and bring your chest up off the floor into bow pose. Feel that opening in your chest and shoulders. And release. Sigh. Okay, let's extend our arms out in front now. So we're going to raise our arms, our chest, our feet and our legs. Keep your neck neutral. Turn your quads outward and breathe. Superhuman pose. And release. I love the word release. All right, let's bring our hands over by our ribs. Okay, so we're facing our head forward, pressing your tops of your feet into the mat, rotating your quads outward, lengthening through your spine, draw the crown of your head up toward the sky, bring your chest up. Pause and breathe. Feel that power in your back. Okay, let's continue on up into seal. Breathe. And then slowly coming back into child's pose. If you want to, you can rock your hips here, do some circles. See what feels good for you. One more breath. And then with that, we'll come back up into tabletop. Okay, so curl your toes under and send your hips up into downward dog. Bend both knees. Pause. And then walk your feet forward into forward fold. So we're going to bend both knees here, sitting back on our heels. So the weight is on our heels. Lengthen your spine, bring your arms up, keeping your knees bent. We are in fierce pose.
What's wrong?
We are fierce warriors.
What did you say?
Breathe. Bring your palms together, and you can either stay here or you can twist to the right, opening your arms if you want. Look down at your knees if you twisted, and make sure that they are in alignment. One is not in front of the other, so you might want to draw your hip back. Keep breathing. Okay, through the center and twist to the left. Again, if you want to, opening your arms, glance down at your knees, make any adjustments you need to with your hips.
Oh, my legs are so tired today.
Back to the center, forward fold, pause, couple breaths. Let's bring our hands behind our back and gently pull them forward. And release. Okay, let's walk our feet out so they're, I don't know, like a little more than hip width apart. Bend your knees, coming into a squat. Make sure that your heels are on the mat. If you need to separate your feet more, keep them on the mat, that's fine. We're all built so differently, which is a really good thing. Variety is good. Breathe. Okay, we're gonna come about halfway up now. Raise your arms. Raise your heels off the mat and balance. Bring your heels back down and slowly come all the way up. Okay, let's inhale down. Raise your heels. And now staying that way without your heels on the floor so you can come all the way up. Drop your heels. Let's take a deep breath. And then exhale down into forward fold. Bring your feet back together. We're going to inhale to our half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back into high plank. Shift forward, exhale, low plank. And then either come all the way down into cobra or come onto the tops of your feet. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Bend both knees. Walk your feet forward into forward fold. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back into high plank. This time we're going to add something. So you can drop your left knee if you'd like. We're going to take our right leg up, down into low plank, back up. One more down, up, drop that leg, and into downward dog. Couple breaths here. All right, come forward again. You can drop your right knee here if you prefer. Left leg up, down, up, down, up. Drop your left leg and into downward dog. Good job. You guys have really hung in here. I can't see you, but I trust you're still there. Always is Marnie. All right, from here, we're going to take our right leg up. Bring it forward. Bring it into a lunge. All right, so let's twist to the right now. And as always, we can drop our left knee if we prefer. A few breaths here. Notice how this feels in your IT band, glute, lower back, your right shoulder, chest. Breathe. Okay, let's lower that hand. We're going to come onto our back knee. Bring your body up, palms together. Point your fingers up and stretch back. And come back up. Extend your front leg. And then bring your heart toward your thigh. Again, you can use something to support you here. A yoga block, a bag of flour, toilet paper roll, a young child that might be napping, whatever you need to do. But the point is we don't want to ever push it. It's not about no pain, no gain. So right now, if this is challenging for your hamstring, don't feel like you need to push into it. Maybe soften on the next exhale. Okay, let's bring our foot flat. Bring it out to the side of the mat. Bring your hands to the inside of your foot and pause here. Breathe. I like to move my torso around a little bit, maybe even turning a little bit into that front leg. I get this really nice extension along my hips here. Okay, now let's shift that leg into pigeon by folding it in front. Our balance is centered. And then if it feels comfortable for you, you can come forward and pause wherever it feels restful and at the same time you feel engaged. So you want to feel that engagement in your, maybe your back, lower back, glutes, IT band, hip. And slowly come on up. Let's bring that leg back. So we're in tabletop. Curl your toes under. Bring it up. Into downward dog. Take our left leg up. Bring it forward into a lunge. And then same thing over here. If you like, you can drop your right knee. We're going to twist to the left. Deep breaths.
Todd, are you up here?
And bring that arm down. Let's come onto our back knee. Bring your body up. Palms together, pointing your index fingers up and stretch back. And come back up. Extend your front leg, and once again, bring your heart to your thigh. Noticing how this feels in your hamstring, not forcing it. Soften into it. And then bring that foot flat, scooch it out to the left. Bring your hands to the inside of it and pause here. And again, shifting your torso, see how that feels. What are you feeling in your inner thigh area, along your, maybe the outside of your right sort of hip area? Let's bring it back to the center, and we'll shift our left leg into pigeon. Fold it in front, and then relax forward. Again, coming to that sweet spot where we're like, oh, this feels good. But then when we start to notice that we're going on autopilot because we're not noticing that sensation anymore, do a little shift. Staying engaged. And slowly, let's come on up. Bring our back leg around. So our feet are flat on the floor. We're going to reach our arms forward. So nice long spine here. Let's come back. Bring our abs back into the mix. Pause here. Notice if we're breathing. If we aren't, then let's breathe. And now to bring our right leg up. Left leg stays. Bring the right leg down, left leg comes up. Okay, keep alternating as you breathe. Come back a little more. Breathe. We're almost done. You can do this. All right, let's raise both legs. 2 breaths. And now let's roll onto our backs and bring our knees in. Give ourselves a hug because we are freaking amazing. Roll around if you want to before we gave ourselves an at-home sort of, not really, but we'll pretend it was a foot massage. So let's do the same thing now for our back. Do some circles with our knees here. Notice how this feels on your back. And bring your feet flat on the floor. And do one more strength move. So we're going to come up into bridge pose by bringing our hips up toward the sky. And energetically, not actually touching your knees against each other, but energetically push them toward each other. Feel how that really engages your back, glutes, hamstrings, quads, abs, everything right now in your core is really engaged. For one more time. Breathe. And release. Let's bring our right foot onto our left thigh. Bring your knees in toward your chest. And then roll onto your left elbow And pull your knees in a little bit more. Breathe. Let's come back to the center, switch legs. Bring your knees in toward your chest and then roll onto your right elbow. Bring your knees in a little more. Notice how that feels in your quad, hamstring, glute, maybe your back. Come back to the center, feet flat on the mat, and then let's bring the soles of our feet together, release your knees to the floor. Let out a sigh, why not? So notice maybe your heart rate has slowed down a bit. Maybe your breath is starting to slow down, deepen a bit. So you can stay here if you'd like. Otherwise, stretch your legs out. And then as you take a deep breath in, reach your arms over, up to the sky and then over your head. And feel how everything in your body is lengthening. On your next inhale, raise your arms back up to the sky, and then as you exhale what you don't need, allowing your arms to come down at your sides, and close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Just stay here in this relaxed state. Notice any tingling in your body. We just had a pretty strenuous workout. So just notice how it feels, any tingling, any pulsing, any sweating. Feel the back of your body as it connects with the ground through the mat or towel, whatever you're on. Feel your body relaxing, softening with each exhale. Notice your breathing. Perhaps noticing that it's slowed down, maybe it's deepened. Just automatically, you didn't have to tell it to do that. Notice how your body expands in your chest and your belly as you inhale. And then notice how it all comes back down on your exhale. And see if you can continue to follow your breath. May 15th, the risk to bloom. And then the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk to bloom. Anais Nin. We all face this turning point repeatedly when resisting the flow of inner events suddenly feels more hurtful than leaping toward the unknown. Yet no one can tell us when to leap. There is no authority to bless our need to enter life, but the God within. How often we thwart ourselves by holding tenaciously to what is familiar. It is instructive, if chilling, that in floral shops, The roses that won't open are called bullets. They are discarded because they will never bloom. They have turned in on themselves so tightly that they can never release their fragrance. Yet as spirits in bodily form, we have the chance to tighten and bloom more than once. But even spirits, if turned in on themselves enough, may grow accustomed to being closed. Unlike roses, however, the human chamber can be shut down for years, and still, it takes but one breath from the true center and we will flower. It has always amazed and humbled me how the risk to bloom can seem so insurmountable beforehand, and so inevitably freeing once the threshold of suffering is crossed. I have a friend in recovery, and when asked what made him stop drinking, he says, "The pain of drinking became greater than the pain of not drinking." The same can be said for us all. We can flower in an instant as soon as the pain of not flowering and not loving become greater than our fear. From the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. When you're ready, slowly, gently, making our way up into our easy pose. So we're sitting up, feeling that lengthening in our spine again, or still, relaxing your shoulders, softening your forehead, jawbones, cheekbones. Noticing our breathing. Let's bring our palms together at heart center. And take a moment to thank our body for being here still with us today, for carrying us through this strenuous sequence flow as we challenged it and honored it and accepted it and listened to it. Thanking our body for its strength, power, health, resilience, wisdom, patience, and beauty inside and out. And if you'd like to, you can join me in setting an intention off our mats today to perhaps think about the reading I just shared, which is basically about change, resistance to change, and perhaps thinking about what does that mean for us in our day? What is it we're holding on to, even if we know it's not something that's serving us or that's helpful or that's compassionate to ourselves or others? And just noticing it. So often that discomfort that we can wrestle with those things is so uncomfortable. That's why it's called discomfort, that we push it away with distractions by being really busy or by focusing on stuff that just feels really comfortable and is actually enjoyable or pleasurable. Just noticing, what is it today that's stopping us from really blooming? And always doing it with curiosity and compassion. Let's take a deep breath now. And as you exhale, bow forward a little bit. Namaste. Peace. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Let me remove my mic so I can actually hear you.
Oh my gosh, was I not muted? I thought you muted us all.
I didn't hear you.
Okay, good, because I looked up and it didn't say mute.